1. Mummy powder. In Renaissance Europe, people actually ate ground-up human remains. Apothecaries sold mummy powder, scraped from real Egyptian mummies, as medicine. It was believed to cure headaches, bruises, even internal bleeding. The rich sprinkled it in wine or mixed it into honey. Imagine sitting at a banquet, and your host proudly serves you a drink flavored with ancient, powdered flesh. Disgusting? Yes. But for centuries, it was considered cutting-edge healthcare, until it slowly fell out of fashion in the 18th century. 2. Roman garum sauce. If you think modern fish sauce smells bad, wait until you meet garum. Ancient Romans adored this liquid made by fermenting fish guts, blood, and salt in the hot sun for weeks. The result was a pungent, sticky sauce they poured over almost everything, from bread to desserts. Emperors collected taxes in garum, and entire factories along the Mediterranean coast churned it out. To Romans, it was liquid gold. To us, it's basically rotten fish juice bottled as fine dining. 3. Stuffed dormice. Romans didn't stop at garum. Their cookbooks describe stuffed dormice as a delicacy. These tiny rodents were fattened up in clay jars, then roasted and filled with honey, nuts, and spices. Guests at elite banquets would nibble on them the way we eat appetizers today. Imagine reaching for finger food at a party, only to bite into a honey-glazed rat. For the Romans, that was luxury cuisine. 4. Baked mice. Fast forward to 16th century England, where mice themselves were baked into pies. Country folk swore by roasted or baked mice as a cure for whooping cough. Parents even fed them whole to children, tails and all. It wasn't about taste. It was medicine disguised as dinner. Hard to believe, but baked mice were once a household remedy, passed down like family recipes. 5. Human blood as medicine. Speaking of cures, some Europeans took things even further. Well into the 17th century, doctors prescribed fresh human blood as a treatment for epilepsy. People gathered at public executions, cups in hand, to drink the blood of the condemned. They believed it contained the soul's energy and could transfer vitality. Imagine watching a man lose his life, and then rushing forward, not in horror, but to sip his blood. To us, that's nightmare fuel. Back then, it was considered healing. 6. Hare fetus, cooked in milk. In medieval Europe, noble banquets often featured a dish both bizarre and unsettling. Hare fetus stewed in milk. This was believed to bring fertility, vitality, and even elegance to those who ate it. Guests praised the tender texture and subtle flavor. Today, the very idea makes our stomachs churn. But in an age when symbolism mattered more than taste, unborn animals were considered mystical delicacies. 7. Blood pudding. Here's one food that survived the centuries. Blood pudding. This dish, made by mixing animal blood with oats or flour, dates back to ancient times. It was a way to use every part of the animal after slaughter. Farmers and soldiers alike relied on it for protein and energy. And while many cultures still eat it proudly, from the UK to Spain, for others, the idea of eating congealed blood in sausage form is downright revolting. 8. Bird's nest soup in China. Bird's nest soup has been prized for over 400 years. But it's not the twigs or leaves you think of when you hear nest. These are made from the hardened saliva of cave-dwelling swifts. Harvesters climb dangerous cliffs to scrape them from walls. The nests dissolve into a gelatinous texture when cooked, creating a slimy but luxurious soup. Rich in nutrients, it's still one of the most expensive foods in the world today. Proof that people will pay a fortune for the strangest textures. 9. Frogs and hedgehogs. Finally, let's end with two creatures that still pop up on menus. Frogs have been eaten since the Middle Ages, most famously in France, where frog legs were considered a holy dish for monks avoiding meat, and in parts of Britain, hedgehogs were once baked inside clay until the spines peeled away, leaving tender meat behind. To us, these meals seem eccentric at best, grotesque at worst, but to our ancestors they were just dinner. History proves one thing: humans will eat almost anything if it promises health, status, or survival. From powdered mummies to blood in a goblet, our ancestors turned desperation and imagination into cuisine. So here's the question. Of all these bizarre dishes, which one would you dare to try? And which one would you never touch, even if your life depended on it?